Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back. 6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again.
So the golden age is being ushered in by the golden one. Is this Babylon rising? In the book of Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar had a dream about a statue, and the head of the image was made of gold. The head of gold represents the Babylonian Empire. Gold symbolizes the wealth, power, and splendor of Babylon. What we see happening is the end coming into alignment with its beginning. The legs of iron is pointing back to where it began, the head of gold.
With goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the gold card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
I think he made it quite clear who the golden age is for. For $5 million, you can buy U.S. citizenship. $5 million. Wow. So U.S. citizenship is for sale. Who are they targeting? Does that include drug dealers and traffickers? Because they can afford to pay, but if you're poor, stay home. So this article says Trump's $5 million gold card, too costly? Well, 1,000 sold in a day. Listen, there are 37 million people in the world who are capable of buying the card. The president thinks we can sell 1 million, Lutnick said while speaking on All In podcast. Lutnick said the U.S. president got the idea of the gold card during a meeting he had with investor John Paulson. He said Trump got him into a loop later to figure out if it was all feasible, reported Times of India. So it says the golden cards made headlines with their sheer cost, as Trump said he wanted wealthy people to be in the U.S. who would do business and do great things to propel his Make America Great Again dream. Lutnick also explained why people should buy the gold card and said that had he not been an American, he would have bought 6 gold cards, one for him, one for his wife, and for other family members, the report added. So, just know that there are exceptions to this. If you're a white South African farmer, the doors are open to you. Donald Trump is very interested in having Afrikaners come here and be a part of America's golden age because supposedly they've had such a tough time in South Africa, even though they own 70% of the farmland. Imagine that. Listen to this from CBS News. What's the truth behind Trump offering white South African farmers U.S. citizenship? In a Friday post on his own Truth Social platform, Mr. Trump once again offered safe refuge to Afrikaner farmers who feel unsafe in South Africa. That came after, on February 7th, Mr. Trump signed an executive order accusing the South African government of adopting racist laws that discriminate against Afrikaners, an ethnic group made up primarily of the descendants of Dutch settlers who started arriving in the country hundreds of years ago and now amount to about 13% of the population. Now, what's interesting is that our people also make up 13% of the U.S. population, supposedly. But even at 13%, we're talking about a whole lot of white South African farmers coming here, if they decide to take him up on his offer. So this president hails the dawn of a golden age for the nation. This NBC article says Trump heralds a golden age in promise-filled inaugural address. He said, "We will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars by launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars." Beaming and holding up 2 thumbs, Musk, the wealthiest man in the world, shouted, "Yay!" Trump is also quoted as saying America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. He also said we will stand bravely, we will live proudly, we will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. A golden age for whom? That's the question being asked in this Chattanoogan.com article. It says, if this is Trump's vision of a golden age, then it is one where the powerful prosper while the rest are left behind. Rather than embracing this narrative, we must ask ourselves whether America is truly moving forward or merely gilding a deeply flawed reality. Now let's find out some more about this term golden age, because it's not new. Did you know that it's also recognized as an occultic term? This says in Esoteric thought, the golden age is seen as an inevitable phase within existence, aligned with the Hermetic principle of rhythm. The concept of the golden age varies across different disciplines, but it universally represents a time of great achievements, prosperity, and virtue. Let's dig a little deeper to find out more about this Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. This says no organization has had a greater impact on Western ceremonial magic than that of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, a magical fraternity founded in London in 1888 by a group of Kabbalists, Rosicrucians, Freemasons, and Theosophists. Standard Golden Dawn rituals and exercises, such as the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram and the middle pillar exercise, have been virtually co-opted by numerous other magical fraternities, Wiccan circles, and even New Age groups. So the author says, the Golden Dawn is not a religion, although religious imagery and spiritual concepts play an important role in its work. He says our order was designed by its founders to be a hermetic society of men and women, a fraternity of magicians and occultists, dedicated to the philosophical, spiritual, and psychic evolution of humanity. It is also a school and a repository of esoteric knowledge, where students diligently learn the principles of occult science and the various elements of Western philosophy and practical magic before proceeding to actual magical work. Tolerance, and this is key, for all religious beliefs is stressed. Tolerance for all religious beliefs is stressed, and symbolism used within the Golden Dawn come from a variety of religious sources. Today, people from many diverse religious paths consider themselves practicing Golden Dawn magicians, including neo-pagans, Christians, Jews, Gnostics, and others. It goes on to say the Golden Dawn system of magic is designed to teach its students both abstract esoteric concept as well as the more practical applications of ceremonial magic. Egyptian, Judeo-Christian, Greek, Gnostic, Neo-Platonic, Rosicrucian, and Masonic elements can all be found within the teachings of the Golden Dawn. The curriculum includes the study of Kabbalah, astrology, divination, inner alchemy, Egyptian magic, scrying, and Enochian magic. So, in the esoteric world, they are waiting on their ascended masters to come back. Those who are students of the ascended master teachings believe that this world is going to once again have a golden age that's going to be permanent, and it's supposed to be heaven on earth, per se. So in the coming golden age, the ascended masters are supposed to once again come and walk amongst humans as they did before, and they are supposed to bring wisdom and guidance to assist in expanding the light within mankind. I think you already know who they really are, right? But this says, these cosmic masters were once regular humans who underwent a series of spiritual transformations to reach a higher state of existence. They are considered to be enlightened beings who offer guidance and support as we progress through our spiritual paths. So whether it's the saints of Christianity or Buddhists or the masters of ancient wisdom in theosophy, the essence of these enlightened beings remains similar. They are supposed to come here to help man grow, evolve, and understand the deeper truths of existence. What are we really talking about here? The mystery religion of Babylon. Listen to this from Revelation 17:5. And on her forehead a name was written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth. Who's supposed to be revealed in the last days? Mystery Babylon. Look at what it says. On her forehead a name was written, Mystery Babylon. So evangelicals think this golden age is about Christianity. No, this is religious syncretism. It's a mixture of all religions with the esoteric societies and occultism. It's a so-called world of perfection without having to submit to the Most High. Satan offered wisdom in the garden. The implication is that his way is much better than the ways of the Most High. Eve said, "We can't eat from the tree or we will die." He countered that and said, "You shall not die." Here's what you need to understand. When you're dealing with deception, there will always be an element of truth. They didn't die immediately, not in the flesh, but they did die spiritually. They found themselves naked. They no longer had Yah's covering, his protection. So this revival of spiritualism will have some elements of truth. Listen to this. The Babylon mystery religion refers to ancient pagan practices and beliefs that originated in Babylon and later influenced various religious traditions, including Christianity. It is characterized by its rituals and deities such as Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz, which are often associated with fertility and the cycles of nature. The religion is noted for its syncretism, blending elements of different faiths, particularly in the context of early Christianity. The influence of this religion is seen in various rites and symbols that have persisted through history. But what's interesting is that a lot of evangelicals can't seem to see what's happening here. I wonder why. This article from NBC News says evangelical leaders celebrate Trump's victory as a prophecy fulfilled. They see Donald Trump's win as ordained by God, offering a divine mandate in his second term. Lance Wallnau, a celebrity evangelist, that says a lot right there, celebrity evangelist, who has spent decades calling on conservative Christians to occupy positions of power and influence over society, told followers on an election night live stream that Trump's victory had been prophesied years ago, a key step in God's plan to usher in a new era of Christian dominion around the world. I hope you caught that. The article goes on to say there is a different dialogue about spirituality happening in America, said Wallnau, who had worked to mobilize Trump voters in swing states. And with Donald Trump, he continued, God has given permission to take it right to the White House. White evangelical support for Trump has not wavered since he pledged in early 2016 while running for the GOP presidential nomination that if he were elected, Christianity will have power. If I'm there, you're going to have plenty of power. You don't need anybody else, Trump continued. You're going to have somebody representing you very, very well. Remember that. It says Trump renewed that vow in the 2024 campaign, telling Christians they would be granted power at a level that you've never used before. He promised to crack down on acceptance of transgender people in schools and in society. And his campaign said it would create a task force focused on investigating all forms of illegal discrimination, harassment, and persecution against Christians in America. So now Christians are being persecuted in America? If we tried to compare what the apostles went through with this so-called Christian persecution today, it would be laughable. But let's go on. It says Johnson and others who shared that worldview were on hand for Trump's victory speech at a convention center in West Palm Beach, Florida. Christian singer Sean Feucht has traveled the country for years, holding pro-Trump worship rallies at state capitals and praying for Christians to win power and adopt laws based on their values. Feucht posted photos of himself in a red Make America Great Again hat at Trump's campaign rally. This says around 3 a.m. he recorded as those gathered to celebrate Trump's victory began to sing a classic Christian hymn. So most of you know the song. But then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee, how great thou art, how great thou art. Afterward, Feucht, who did not immediately respond to a request for comment, shared his jubilation with hundreds of thousands of followers on Facebook. God was exalted, he wrote. America was saved. So America has been saved. Who is her savior? Now, I think we already know who's taking the credit for saving America, right? He's saving the nation from all of its ills.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer.
Woke no longer. So let's see what this term means and where it came from. This says, if you ask people what woke is, I think what they mean is they want to stand against people who are engaging in some type of advocacy for marginalized people. Andra Gillespie, political scientist at Emory University, told USA Today, it's kind of this lumping together of anybody whose views could be construed as being progressive on issues related to identity and civil rights. So where did woke originate? Black Americans have used the term woke since at least the early to mid 20th century to mean being alert to racial and social injustice.
The word woke has become a polarizing term in the culture wars in recent years.
But decades before Ron DeSantis declared a so-called war on woke, the term was used by some black people as a signal and a warning to be on the lookout for violence and injustice. For more, we are joined by NBC News correspondent Tremaine Lee. Tremaine, it's always great to see you. Good morning.
Good to be here. Thank you so much. As you mentioned, woke for decades and decades has been used primarily in the black community. But now it's become a word that means everything and nothing at all. It's loaded. It's charged, especially in the mouths of some far right-wing conservatives. So I went and investigated the true meaning and nature and history of this word. Check it out. By now, you've probably heard it.
This woke ideology.
Weak and woke?
Wokeism.
Over.
Woke lunacy.
And over.
Woke beliefs and policies.
And over again. Woke has become a charged political catch-all phrase, often used as a battering ram and a battle cry, and to many, a slur.
It's almost another way of saying black. It's another way of saying the N-word.
They weaponized the civil rights movement and said it was a communist movement.
Before it was a pejorative, woke was about black safety and empowerment. In the early 20th century, when Jim Crow had its grip on America, white supremacist danger and violence was a constant threat. So black folks had to keep their eyes open, literally and figuratively. They had to stay woke. But what's the real actual definition of the term woke?
It's to be awake to what's happening around you, particularly when it comes to systemic injustice.
The roots of woke run deep to the heart of black America's fight for equality. In the 1930s, bluesman Huddie Ledbetter, a.k.a. Leadbelly, penned a protest song in honor of the Scottsboro Boys, a group of black teens falsely accused in Alabama of raping 2 white women.
Gospel boys, they tell you what it's all about. I advise everybody to be a little careful when they go along through that, but stay woke, keep their eyes open.
And since then, it has become part of the cultural lexicon. And that's what it's always meant to black people for almost 100 years now.
By the late 80s, woke was showing up in black art, like Spike Lee's classic film, School Days. Wake up! And later, given new electricity by neo-soul artist Erykah Badu after the killings of Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown. And in 2020, woke crossed over from black culture to the mainstream following the murder of George Floyd.
No one was talking about woke as much as we have in the last 2 years, right? This was in speak in the black community. I think there was a lot of terror in seeing what was happening in 2020, seeing the multi-racial, multi-ethnic coalitions of people who really rallied around like understanding more about anti-blackness, understanding more about systemic racism.
Today, woke has become an ideological lightning rod and dividing line, a warhead in the latest culture wars.
Once it became like political football, particularly as we see with the GOP, it seemed like a mass message went out. Wokeness is what we're targeting.
They mean it as a slur, but the people who are for these policies, for these specific goals, who think that I want my children to learn about the history of this country and not just the white history of this country, that's not a slur to me. And if you call it woke or whatever you call it, I am proud of representing those things, and I want them in policy.
Politically, there's nothing new about fighting over the narrative. Who controls the narrative controls the story. But what's concerning for many people in this case with woke is that, one community created this as a form of resistance, and now it's been turned in some ways on that very community.
Very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon. Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
Let's make it plain. America has no interest in remembering or knowing about any contributions made by so-called African Americans to make America great. So this article says stolen valor, erasing Black stories from Arlington National Cemetery. Now, the main point of the article is saying that to erase the contributions of so-called African Americans is not just an insult, it's a lie. But the non-woke culture is not interested in truth. Truth is an affront to them. Imagine that. And who is the father of lies? So the author says we need atonement, not amnesia.
And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
For those who have eyes to see, the handwriting is on the wall. This is the legs of iron realigning itself with the head of gold. It's ushering in the final phase of the beast system that will be a return to church and state ruling jointly. Interestingly, this is what Elon Musk posted on his X account after Trump's victory. He said, America is the new Rome. And what happened to Rome? It transitioned into the Holy Roman Empire of the German nations. We're going to get into that next time. But if this message has been a blessing to you, please hit the like and share it. You're also welcome to subscribe if you have not already done so. We normally upload messages on Sunday mornings at 8:30 a.m. Yah willing. Join me next time.